Hi, so my name's Leah Naniowski, and this is my DNA practitioner,
Carmen Tochnik.
the brains behind everything in my life right now. I've been in the health and fitness industry for about 20 years now, and I'm going to be honest, I thought I knew a lot until I discovered DNA testing and how much more in depth information I could get about me and what my diet needs are to function as optimally as I possibly can. Um, yeah, this brilliant woman has brought this into my life, and I can't wait to find out about my. Today we're going to focus on diet, but I can't wait to find out what Carmen has to say.
Excellent. So, I'm really happy to be here with you today, and I'm really happy that we can even offer such an amazing tool for people to understand themselves at a deeper level, which is their DNA. So, in the past many years of fitness and dieting, many people have been guessing. So, what we've created is an entire portfolio of Leah. So, this is going to cover her main diet genes, the main ones that she can actually make a difference in her life tomorrow with. So, in our report, once Leah got the report done and did her cheek swab, she was able to print this off. And throughout the book, she's going to learn today many different areas of where she's functional in and not so functional in. So we can quickly see what areas do we have to focus on first to help her not only look good in the mirror, but help her to turn on her DNA so that she can live longer, healthier, sexier, more fit with less chronic disease, pain, and illness. And there's some key things in here actually that I think you're going to find really interesting, okay?
Can't wait.
So let me ask you before you look at this, really.
Why?
Yeah.
I need to know.
So way back when, did you think eating a high protein diet was going to help you lose weight?
100%.
Okay. Well, I'm here today to help you learn about your DNA.
I know. I'm looking good for protein.
Your DNA is actually screaming out and saying that you're going to gain weight from eating too much protein. Yeah. And I know that you might have had some success in the past with losing weight on a higher protein diet when we were younger and things like that. However, when we lose weight in a mirror, it doesn't mean that it's the healthiest diet for us long term. So by eating more protein, you're going to have a tendency to over time gain more weight from that. And also it's going to encourage inflammatory response in your body, which could cause things like Crohn's, colitis, celiac, type 2 diabetes, inflammatory genes, even arthritis, bad like gut inflammatory, things like that. So it might even come to this, say you're trying to work out lots and you're not recovering properly. Eating too much protein actually could be your problem. So that could be why your muscles aren't recovering quick enough, because eating a lot of protein for you is causing too much inflammatory response. And that is something that I think really stands out in your profile right away. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think that neither of us would have guessed that for you if we didn't see this deep down in your own buried DNA. So really, ultimately, your DNA has all the answers in it. We just have to read it.
Nice.
And it's truly as simple as this. Green means good, red means no good. So we have a very comprehensive report laid out here for Leah. If she wants more information about this area, we just have to simply flip ahead to page 19. It's going to give her composition again, her DNA composition. It's going to explain exactly what genes we're testing, why we're testing them, and some tips to overcome that area.
Nice.
Yeah.
Avoid a high-fat, high-protein diet.
Yeah, so that would be
Eat
keto.
lower. Avoid keto. Oh no, I gained weight on keto. Like,
isn't that interesting? So you actually gained weight on keto.
So frustrating.
Well, if you would have known your DNA before trying all these different diets, you would have eliminated a ton of trial and error. Not only, again, to look good in the mirror, and I want to keep repeating that truly we've been dieting all these years, guys, because we want to look good. Well, it's time to start dieting for your life. I want you to start eating like your life depends on it. And the only way to truly understand and know that is to know your DNA first. And I'm so happy that you learned about this opportunity.
Oh, God.
I
have a question, actually. Yeah. So I'd like to know, generally speaking, how many diets people go through till they
I read a recent stat that the
Fun, yes.
average age, so the average woman that's 55 did an average of 167 different diets by the age of 55.
Yeah, I might be there.
And they're still wondering what kind of diet they should be on. So I also like to say that most diets will work if you stay on them, but they're not going to last, and they're not actually getting your DNA more functional.
Right.
And that's ultimately what we're trying to do is, well, look great and be healthy at the same time. So with your DNA, you can do that. And, you know, the DNA report goes into things like your insulin response. It's going to, right here, it's going to go into your cholesterol. It's going to go into healthy fats. Most people think that healthy fats are good for them. Well, in some cases, they're not. And your saturated fat is no good, but your unsaturated fat is actually not that.
So give me a sample of what an unsaturated fat is.
So unsaturated fat are things like almonds, walnuts, avocados, olive leaf, olive oil, I should say.
Those are good.
Those are good.
Okay, and then
saturated fats would be fattier meats. So if you're eating a lot of meat like you were in the past, there actually is quite a bit of hidden fats in that, which would be the saturated fat.
I like meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna,
good.
yeah, so we're looking at caffeine,
exciting,
we're
actually.
looking at alcohol, we're looking
Caffeine
at
is 100%.
gluten.
Nice.
Yeah, so, you know, another interesting
caffeine.
another interesting area here is gluten. So a lot of people will get some kind of gluten intolerance test, and just because you may have had that in the past, we're looking at several key indicating genes about gluten for you. So we still are suggesting that you cut gluten out of your diet. Okay.
That's easy.
Salt, that's another big question. How much salt should we have in our diet? So this is going to be a clear answer for you. Now, moving forward into the vitamin area, this is key. So now, if you've ever wondered what kind of vitamins that you should take, or
Always.
what vitamins would encourage your body to
Vitamin
function.
queen here.
You know, interesting enough, I think in the past, a lot of people would have a problem and then they'd go look for a vitamin. So in this case, we want people to know their DNA. We want to encourage you to know your DNA first so that you can get on a prevention program and be on vitamins way before a problem happens, because the proper vitamins will encourage your body to function correctly so that we can eliminate a bunch of problems down the road. So here's a clear outline as to what vitamins Leah needs right from birth. So these are things that you should have been on right from day one.
Ooh.
B6 in a methylated form, B12, vitamin C in a way higher dose than normal, the choline, definitely, and that's one that we never think about taking.
Brain.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And why do we not? I guess, yeah, because I'm not familiar with choline.
Right.
So, yeah, I wouldn't have known without this.
Well, exactly. And there's a few things, like I can relate to all of what you're saying here. Before I truly learned about DNA testing and the empowerment of what it can do for me, the benefits, I had no idea that this is how we can prevent disease.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really understand, even as a teenager, why do we take vitamins? I didn't really catch on to the fact of that, you know, we need certain nutrients to get our body functioning right. And really, truly, that's going to be what gets our DNA replication better. It's going to get our body working better, the protein synthesis area. These macro and micronutrients is what truly helps that process in our body happen.
So from what I understood, when we talked about methylation, explain methylation to me.
So methylation is a process that happens in your body that takes nutrients out of your food to help power up your body. So it takes nutrients and say vitamins out of it. That process is called the BH4 cycle, and it transforms it into energy for your body to function correctly. And if that area is not functional, it makes, usually if you have mutations in other areas of your body, which we all do, it in a sense makes those areas not as functional. So if we get the methylation area working good, then all of a sudden those other mutated areas that we're struggling in our body with, it will help encourage that DNA to express itself better. Right. So the epigenetic process happens in a much better fashion.
We have a really great video on that, by the way.
So anyways, you know, really, a lot of people are afraid to get their DNA done because they're afraid that they're not going to know what this all means because they're not a doctor. They think, oh, how am I going to understand my DNA? Well, we've really worked hard at putting together a very comprehensive report so that anybody past a grade 4 level would understand this. It's that simple. So if you take time to read this, I'm very confident that you're going to truly understand what it means. However, if you want more help, that's what I'm here for, is to really help do program detail using your DNA as that guideline.
So you could actually, based on this information, I have a basic understanding of what I need, but could you put together an eating plan for me based on this information?
Yes, yeah. So at the DNA level, this is what you're born with. This is at the lab. We at the lab don't know what Leah's goal is today, what your health concerns are, what your current health is. So that's my job as a DNA practitioner, is to truly understand you. I want to know your pains, your fears, your likes, your dislikes. I want to know your time frame as to how fast you want to reach that goal. I can also help you goal set and make some realistic good goals based on all this information. So truly, the DNA is like a roadmap. It's a biological roadmap of you to use as a tool.
So for me only, because there's so many diets out there, and yeah, it might work for 10%. This will work 100%.
It will. And I'd like to add that even if you were dieting on perfect diets for 20 years, there's so many variables to consider. And as we age, all those variables continue to change.
True.
So you're kind of left holding the bag at the end of the day, 20 years later, saying, well, I don't know really what's working and what's not working still. Because we really, truly don't know what is encouraging our own DNA to function better if you don't know your DNA first.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
You're welcome.